Hey guys, it's Bonnie from Dwelling Logs, and I thought it was time to show you guys kind of my plans for term number 1. I gave a little bit of a hint, but as I've been fleshing through things coming up in the next year, I actually have a little bit more fleshed out, and it's kind of a little bit different than I thought. So I'm going to show you guys my feast planner and how I'm using that strategy. I shared a lot about that kind of from the spring until now. I've kind of developed a way to plan out a term with all the subjects that I want in a Charlotte Mason style, but that nobody is the boss of except for me. And I'll show you guys my actual term and what it looks like, and also like our weekly routine and all of that. I'm hoping that I'm coming through loud and clear because I got a new microphone, so hopefully that's good. Yeah, and I'll show you some of the resources, so stick around. I will give a spoiler alert that we are doing dinosaurs. Where's the camera? We're doing dinosaurs to start with. My original plan was to do dinosaurs and geology. We did geology a couple years ago, which was really fun. And I kind of thought we'd go into that again, but I have so many dinosaur resources that we will be doing this for the entire term. Now, I'm saying this as I'm thinking about it and I'm planning, and I'm like, it would be so great to go through all these materials, but we did learn a lesson from last year when we did pirates. Pirates was really fun and exciting for the first 4 to 5 weeks, and then we kind of got exhausted. So I am planning to go forward with this, knowing that we may have to shuffle and derail a little bit. I've ordered one new dinosaur resource that's going to do a lot of like history in paleontology and things like that, as well as, of course, dinosaur identification and the little bit of apologetics. I don't think we're going to go too heavy into apologetics. I am a young earther, so I do really want to lean into resources that are young earth resources, but I also want to teach my kids about old earth thinking and all that kind of thing too, because I think that instead of like sheltering them from what other people think, I think that it's healthy for us to discuss about it all and look at it from a really scientific perspective. And so I have resources kind of from all over. I will make one request though, if you're watching this video and you're like so into Christian dinosaur resources, I am connected with, Kinham, and I think it's Creation Ministries and stuff like that. But if you have favorite resources, if you wouldn't mind sending me a message or commenting below, especially even if they're not Christian, but young earth perspective, geology, or dinosaur resources, I would love to know if there's other things that I'm not tapped into, because I do find that I do have a lot of resources, and some of them are secular and old earth and all the rest, but it's really nice when I don't always have to police all that stuff. So, and by police, I say that pretty broadly. Like I said, I'm not opposed to my kids learning about it. I think that they should know what the different views are out there, but of course I have my own biases as well. So let me show you I want to start off maybe first with how I've gotten to this plan, and that's going to go with our resources, because using the feast planner really involves evaluating your kids and then kind of looking at what you want to use for resources and then fleshing that out. So yeah, maybe I will start out kind of with this feast planner. I know I have a detailed video earlier in my channel when I created this, kind of all the things inside. But this is the feast planner, and it starts out with themes. There's these little tabs you can print out, and I've just taped them into their right spots. So basically we have an area to write down themes and interests. We kind of started doing this with my kids. I would like to do more as the year goes, but right now I'm really just focused on the term 1, and I think as the year goes on, I'll be getting the kids to be more and more telling us what interests they're having and stuff like that, because I feel like at the beginning of the year, everybody's ready for back to school. They're good with the routine. But as the year is dragging on, I'm pretty sure I want to be like, what do you guys want to learn? And I want a little bit more of that. But I have this set up in the feast planner where you can write down your topics or interests, and then also it's the era and geography columns there too, so that I can figure out, as I'm getting their interest list going, what kind of history and geography and science and stuff, what connections we can make, because I really like unit study style, but I like to make my own stuff. So that's good. And I say that with a grain of salt because we're entering into farm harvest season around here, and I am going to be using one open and go resource that I'll show you guys in a bit. And then I have individual goals. So I have all my kids. I actually use this page not only to list things that we really need to work on, like one of my sons really needs some more consistency and more work reading and going back to some reading basics, but I also use this page to list things that they're great at that maybe I can lean into in a different way when we need some more positivity. And then we have seasonal learning. So this is more, I use these pages more for ecology things or holidays, and then I basically write it down and then I highlight what months of the year so I can reference this when I'm working out our term. And then I have the plan the term. My planner has like all examples for you guys, and then it has places for you to plan the term, which I will show you guys. And then routine pages, which I actually haven't put together for myself quite yet. A little spreadsheet to dump kind of how your week looks, and so that you can better make your weekly timetable. And I will show you guys my weekly timetable as well. Kids are playing downstairs and screaming. And then a place for notes. So let me show you our term table and then our weekly table that I have fleshed out. And as I do that, I will show you guys the dinosaur resources that we're going to be using. So Feast Planner, it's free on my website. Go to my website, put it in your cart, go get it for free. This is not a planner that has calendars and household chores in it. It's just for brainstorming like I do. It's exactly what I needed. So I made it and I'm sharing it. So it won't be a full planner, but it can be really helpful, I think, if you're trying to flesh out what your term wants to look like and make it family style and connected learning. Okay, so first I always do, I only did this for one term last year, and that's kind of how I figured out this routine that works well for us. But I first do the term table. So this is, I decided to do a 10-week term. I think in the spring we tried a 12-week. It turned into 13 or 14 weeks. This time I tried to jam pack everything into 10 weeks. The advantage is it's not as long. And if you miss a week or someone gets sick or whatever, you have a buffer, or you can maybe fit more holiday weeks in or fit more studies in. The downside is now instead of 12 weeks to get all of your materials read and done that you want to get done that's on theme, you now only have 10 weeks. But division was really easy. So if I have like a book that was 100 pages, I know we got to read 10 pages a week. And so the math was easy with a 10-week term. So basically I have weeks 1 to 10 and then a review week column. And then I have subjects for Bible. I don't know if you guys can read this. I wonder if I can put this closer. So subjects for Bible, New Testament and Old Testament reading, Psalm reading. I did the Psalms. I'm doing the New Testament and Old Testament and Psalms in, chronological order. We're starting reading like that. New City Catechism is a Bible study program that I got that we really like. And then the scripture memory, I originally was going to go with the verses that go with New City Catechism, but there was a Can-Ham resource with dinosaurs that had a bunch of memory verses in it. So I've plunked those ones in here. And there's actually a few more that I found as I was going through the material. So I don't know if we're going to memorize all the verses that he suggested, but there's going to be some scripture memory. And then we are adding in Latin. I think I told you guys that we're adding in Latin. We're already started. We're on day 2 today. And so it's mid-August right now, and I wanted to start out with Latin. And I wanted to start out with waking the kids up at 7 again, getting that like, come on, wake up, eat breakfast, get going. I've also assigned each of them a chore that I want them to learn and a chore that they want to do every day. So we're probably going to do the entire term where one child has the same chores every single day. And then depending on if the house needs, we're going to have a big clean day, we all pitch in, but 2 specific chores that are their thing that they're going to get really good at. And I did it purposefully. I choose one and they choose one because I need them to learn new skills. And it's really nice if the kids can do like a favorite chore and be part of the decision making. So our goal for August was to start Latin, get into a routine of waking up early, and then get some household chores done so that when we enter into September and we add in other things, we're a little bit more ready to go. Okay, so what do we have here? So we have Latin, and we're doing the Latin for Children, Primer A. And then dinosaurs, I got the Gather Round Homeschool Dinosaurs lesson, which I put over here. Okay, pardon me, this is not a lesson. It is a unit study. And what I did is I bought the digital copy with an upper elementary bundle. So there's a whole bunch of different options to buy. There's a lot of extras with their dinosaur unit. But boy, if I put everything in my cart, it was going to be like over a couple $100 for a month of school. Or I guess we could spread it over 2 months. So I decided I would pare it down just a little bit. And I'm really excited with how things turned out. So I did the upper elementary bundle. You get upper elementary digital levels. I can print it as many times as I want. And then it comes with a teacher's guide. And then I also added the MP3 teacher's guide because we're in harvest season. And last year we did this for, I think it was Vikings we did last year in harvest time. And it was really nice because it's a really busy season for me, managing my own garden and then the meals to the field and all the rest. And so it was really nice to have a unit study for the kids where they could take the book, they could take the teacher's guide, they could press play, and I could just be out of the picture. My oldest son does read really, really well, but there's so much reading now that we're doing like Charlotte Mason style. So I just thought it would be really nice to have the MP3. It gives him a little bit of a reading break. And I know with the Vikings in the Middle Ages, MP3s, they were fun with sound effects and stuff. Sorry for the notifications. Anyway, I actually was going to show you guys if I could. I was going to see if I could split my screen. Oh. Let's see if I can switch this. Select camera. There. This is my Opa. He just passed away. And so I have him as my screensaver at the moment. Oh, I didn't know I could make a couple of things there. I'm not sure how to exit that. Okay. Oh, that's part of my screen, of course. All right, so this is the teacher's guide. And in the teacher's guide, she does have a letter to the parents. This is kind of all about gather round, mini units, what's the gather round difference. I used to work for gather round painting for them. I really like their units. They're open and go. They're Charlotte Mason inspired, and they're always really beautiful and really fun. Okay, so I'm just gonna go past because she had a bit of a note to the teacher. Let's see. Okay, so she just said, this lesson is highly controversial. I want to be clear that Rebecca wrote this lesson to be open-ended and full of wonder, questions, and elaborate discussions. It's my goal to present this in a way that's impartial, informational, and introspective. I believe that it's important to state that I believe that the Bible is both literal and figurative, living and active, sharper than any double-edged sword, relevant to our lives today and still applicable. I do not believe that your opinion about the age of the earth determines your salvation. I'd be in agreement with her. I also don't believe that our kids should be shielded from opinions and beliefs that they will be faced with, nor should we be afraid of the questions that will arise. God is big, isn't he? Woohoo! It's my hope, that was me. It's my hope and prayer that these questions provoke you to dig deeper into God's word. He says, seek and you will find, ask the hard questions now, and don't be afraid of the mystery and wonder, saying, I don't know, and may God bless you richly as you ponder the philosophical things of origin, time, and worldview together. So I really liked and appreciated that note of just that to expect there's going to be kind of explaining both young and old earth things in here. I heard that this is not heavy in apologetics, which is really nice, but there is some in there. And I do believe, oh, see, I painted this guy. This is so fun to see some of my art. I also did the footprints that you'll see on some of the pages. This is one of the last units I painted for. I painted that egg. There's always like a team of painters. Anyways, there was maybe the sheet is in something else. Anyway, I was just going to give you a quick kind of flip through the teacher's guide. And this is one of the posters that came with the unit. So we have like a kind of a timeline of old Earth or evolution and young Earth theory. So what I did is I printed out the upper elementary, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my kids just work on this together. And it's probably going to be mostly my oldest and a little bit of my middle son working on things. I don't expect my youngest girl to be super involved with the upper elementary workbook, but we're going to look at the teacher's guide on the computer or on my tablet. As we're doing our school day, we'll play the MP3s so that mommy doesn't have to be reading. I can be doing counting in the kitchen or something like that. And then they can do their the workbook that goes with it. They have a recitation page that I just keep out. That poster, I decided to keep out. What else do they have here? A few things that I kept out. Oh, they have a pronunciation guide in the appendix, so I just kept that out in case we needed it, but with the MP3s, we might actually not need that. And then all of these spelling and vocabulary words listed that's in the appendix. I just keep those in the front because then I remember that they're there. I always forget what's in the appendix. And then, yeah, so then they'll just go through, there's some seat work pages at the front where basically it's just a thing that you can print out and do once a week. Some people laminate them and reuse them every day. We usually just get them done once in the week. And then there's all the worksheets and stuff. So the kids will be working on that. Now, something that came in the back of the upper elementary workbook were these pages. These were in the appendix of the book. And you can actually buy this on its own, this discovery book. It's on sale like all by itself, but it's included in the appendix. And I printed this out 3 times for each of my kids. This is what they will each get. And the discovery book is basically full of pages like this, where it's got information, geography, and information about a specific dinosaur, how to draw that specific dinosaur, and a little bit of fill in the blank kind of things. And they do this, that's what every day is. So my plan is to do this kind of together, the upper elementary workbook, which is a little unusual for us. And then each of the kids will get one of these to go into on their own. And it's a little bit more fun. They can go and they can draw. They maybe even could do some of this while we listen to the lesson. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, that's a very long expose on how we're doing that gather round dinosaurs. So I'm putting social and sciences kind of in one category because they always seem to blend here and I was tired of separating them. The other thing that we have here is Mr. Hibbs. Oh yeah, maybe I'll just quickly speak to this. So I'm going to have them do 3 lessons a week, and then at about week 7 we'll be done, and we will have space for something else. So maybe that's where we'll fit in our like rocks and minerals. I don't know. But anyway, we got Mr. Hibbs here, or Mr. Hibb, sorry. Now Mr. Hibb is Creation Ministries. Let me find. Okay, this one is Exploring Dinosaurs with Mr. Hibb. He's like this little cricket guy, and he's really fun. We've done a bit of his geology book a few years ago, and the kids really enjoyed listening to it as I read it out loud. And we have never touched this one that we have on dinosaurs. So I took all the page numbers from both of these, divided them by 10 weeks. So we're going to start with Exploring Dinosaurs, and then we're going to go into geology with him. So we're going to try to get all these done in term 1. So that's another resource that I have scheduled in. And then next on here we have, apologetics videos. Now, I don't know how heavy I want to go into apologetics, but there is a ton of stuff. Some from Creation Ministries, some from, they have a doctor that works on their team in Creation Ministries. I forget his name now. But he's basically a scientist with his PhD, which is really nice, who talks about young Earth and the science behind it and maybe a bit of debate. But I wanted to leave room for looking up some of those videos. I want to be really picky about them being from credible sources, educated sources. I'm a little bit picky about that, which is, I'm not the biggest Ken Ham fan, but I also really like a lot of his resources too, and I really appreciate when they have resources that involve their guy on their team that has his PhD in paleontology, and there's something else. It might not be in paleontology, but he is a paleontologist. Anyway, I'll have to look up the credentials again. But anyways, I appreciate that very much. Dire Dragons. Oh yes, this was another one from Creation Ministries. My kids love dragons. And I love that there are some parallels between dragons and dinosaurs and the legends and stuff like that. So we are going to go through this with the 10 weeks. I also, side note, I don't know if I have it. Oh, I do have it written down here. I found an artist that I might want to go through that's an Asian artist from the 1600s. So that was exciting. And he's a dragon artist. Thought that would be fun art to look at. Okay, so this is another one that we're going to go through. I just basically took all the pages in it, divided it by 10 weeks. Put it in my calendar, and then Guide to Dinosaurs. That's this one. Now this one is, who does this one? This is Institute for Creation Research. So we're going to go through this one as well, and then we're going to go. Oh, and I have a few just Ken Ham books. So I have Dinosaurs of Eden. Okay, this was Ken Ham. And then I have this one that actually the church gave me. They were going through their library and they were getting rid of it. And that's Kim and Mally Ham. I'm assuming Mally is his wife. And so that will be fun. I thought my youngest is going to like that. So those are kind of my dinosaur book resources. Again, I just take them, divide them by the 10 weeks. And you can see I have them all listed over here. And then I have the page numbers here. Or I guess down here I just have the books and the page, some of the page numbers. It looks like the D is for dino one. I didn't put specific page numbers, but it just goes through the alphabet. And then math, I didn't bother writing down page numbers because for math, we just do the next lesson or two. We try to get 5 to 8 lessons done in a week. And then LA, we are going to continue with grammar lessons. We're doing Charlotte Mason grammar. Writing, I want to make sure we're doing some free writing. My middle schooler, I want him to work on longer writing, essays, stuff like that. I do have resources that are digital that we may pull into that writing time in our week to have more like research and stuff. Oh, that was another thing with the Gather Round Dinosaurs. Apparently, usually you have like a grammar focus of some kind that's specific to each unit. And I was told that the grammar focus is actually not quite grammar, but it is research for the dinosaur unit. So I think that will be a really great first kind of focus as we begin our year. So I'm looking forward to that. And then classic literature, I actually haven't picked a classic literature book yet, but I will. I kind of wanted to be on theme, but I'm like, I don't think it needs to be. So I might just pick a classic literature book. We are going to be reading Plutarch, so for now we'll be listening and reading Plutarch in those times. Oh shoot, I forgot. I wanted some time to read Aesop's Fables. Maybe we'll put that in there. Okay, poet. We're doing Robert William Service. I did make a pack that is Robert William Service, a little bio pack and his poetry. We want to memorize The Cremation of Sam McGee. It's my husband's favorite poem. And so we'll be doing that this year as well. And then I have for art, I don't know how to pronounce this name, but this was an Asian dragon artist in the 1600s. So I have pulled up a few websites with the art on it that we can look at. So I'm going to start with that and then we're going to see what happens. So that is the term table. Term 1. And then this is what our daily routine is going to be like. So let's see if you guys can see this up close. So I need a work block in the morning because that's my best time to get my work done. I'm leaving the kids a bit of time here. These are all 20-minute blocks. I'm leaving the kids some time to wake up because I did find that last year that was a bit of a struggle. I'd have like 7 o'clock wake up and then I'd have a plan right after that. And it just seemed like we were waking up a little bit slower. So we have wake up, we have chores at 7, breakfast and Bible after that, song and memorization. 8 o'clock is our readings for scripture. And then 8:20, I left 2 blocks here for our Latin because it's at least a half an hour in this curriculum that we're doing. So I gave us 40 minutes to do our Latin. I have a 20-minute block for math. You'll notice that my Fridays I've kept a little bit lighter. That's on purpose because we like to have a lighter Friday. And I also put our apologetics videos on Friday because it's always nice to have a bit of video learning on a Friday. I don't know, to celebrate the weekend. And then here at 9 o'clock, I've rotated what we're doing. So we're doing the Gather Round Dinosaurs, then our Mr. Hibb book, then our Gather Round Dinosaurs 2 more days, and then free writing for Fridays. And then we have a grammar block. We also have piano lessons coming up, so I made sure to block that on our Tuesdays. Where are we? Okay, then Guide to Dino, that's our other reading. And then art study or artist study. I have quick tidy times in the days so that we make sure that we do those quick tidy times, but the days are looking different just because of our schedule. Then I have a leftover math block in 4 out of the, so we're doing math 4 days a week, but trying to do double lessons. But I have 2 blocks to do math because we don't always get it done in the first block. Our quick tidy, I left space for dedicated reading time. On Thursdays, we do our big clean. We did that last year and it worked really well. Just to have a day on the week that's not on the weekend, that we can spend a little bit more time doing more than just our regular daily chores. And I also put in there afterwards, I put audiobook time because Cleaning is a really fun time to do your audiobook, and that's all before lunch. So lunch comes after that. So we're going to see how this flows. I might tweak and change things. On Tuesdays, because of our piano block all taken up, we're going to put Plutarch and poetry and leftover math in the afternoon. And then we have a homeschool meetup that happens on Thursdays, so I put that down there. But I've pretty much left the afternoon open so we can kind of figure out how our days go. So that is where our term or our tables are at. Anyway, I think I'm going to end it there because that is kind of where I'm at right now in planning. Again, August, we're just taking a couple weeks to get into routine, including cleaning routine and like chore routine. And then we are going to hit the ground running in September with all of our normal subjects. Anyway, I hope sharing this was helpful. Maybe it gave you some dinosaur ideas. Maybe it just gave you some planning strategy ideas. You can pick up my feast planner for free on my site. So I will leave a link for that below. And I'll try to also link the stuff that I did purchase online below. But some of this was actually at like a Creation Ministries kind of organization time or a presentation at a church. So I got it in person, but I'm sure that they're available online if you looked up some of the titles that we talked about. And yeah, any suggestions for geology or dinosaurs, put them in the comments below, and it would be really fun to check them out. And I hope you guys have a great back to school planning time. We'll see you next time.